Hey guys, how you doing? It's Gavin here from Starfresh Personal Training, and I've just got back off my 2 week holiday, and I've got a bit of bum fluff, bit of a beard going on. But today's video is going to be around about creatine. So when I first started training, and creatine and protein powder, they were all the trendy things to take. And I remember taking creatine one day. You heard it was the best thing since sliced bread. Started taking it. Somebody said to me, "What does it actually do?" And I went, "Oh, makes your muscles bigger." I didn't have a clue, to be honest with you. I was taking creatine because everyone was taking creatine, and I thought that was the thing to do. So I'm going to go through a couple of things with you around what is creatine, how does it work in your body, and ultimately give you some advice that you can use whether or not it's worth taking creatine and whether or not you're going to benefit from taking creatine. And a lot of people that are trying to lose weight and build muscle take creatine. But what I don't want for you guys is to waste your money on supplements when actually maybe better nutrition would be the best way forward. So I'm going to give you my take. I'm going to check in some studies to show you, and you can make your own decisions whether or not creatine is right for you or not. So first off, what is creatine and how does it work in your body? So first of all, creatine is really, really well studied. Okay, it's lots of studies around it. It's known to be very, very safe, and it's really for people who are power athletes, so sports athletes with lots of sprinting and running, lots of demand on the muscle. Okay, and it's very, very useful for that kind of environment. So I'm going to talk to you on a little bit about a cellular level. Okay, and that's basically and I'm going to give you a really easy layman's terms of how it all works. And basically the idea behind what creatine actually does. So basically what creatine does in our bodies, it's used for energy, okay? It's for energy within the muscles. And the adenosine triphosphate, which is ATP, I hope I said that right. And ATP is our body's energy currency. And to do anything, move and just do day-to-day activities, our body uses ATP and converts ATP into energy. It's a little bit confusing when I first did this on my PT course. It took a while to get my head around, but essentially what it does is it helps the muscle work a little bit better, and it uses the creatine stores within the muscle to do that. So if you think of it like, I'll say the energy's currency. So if you think of it like a steam train, and you're going to throw some coal and some wood onto the into the furnace to make the wheels and the steam engine go. Adding extra creatine is adding a bit of lighter fuel onto it. It keeps the energy going for a very short amount of time, and it helps you push out 2 or 3 reps extra in the gym. And that's what it equates to. So when you're taking creatine in the gym, it allows you to push past failure, to push out 2 or 3 extra reps, to create that little bit of more overload in your muscle to help it grow. So that's basically what creatine does for your body. Okay, you have that extra store of creatine, helps you have a little bit more energy within the muscle to push an extra couple of reps out. Simple as that. Not much more to it than that. Very, very scientific. You probably don't need to know that too deeply into it. And that's the simplest way I can explain it to you. So that's what it does in your body. So when you're in the gym and you say you want to build your bigger arms, you're taking creatine or your chest, it helps you hit failure. So you need to be hitting failure before creatine really works for you. Because if you're not going to failure anyway, then and you're not pushing past that failure point to get an extra few reps out, creatine isn't going to do much good for you in those terms. So the next thing, where you get creatine? With creatine, you just supplement with it. It's in food. It's in beef and chicken and poultry, and it's all in your food you eat. But there's not huge amounts of creatine in your protein. But usually, if you're eating lots of protein in your diet anyway, you're probably doing okay. You may not need to supplement with creatine. And in actual fact, our bodies manufacture creatine as well. And the experts are suggesting that the best forms of creatine come from things like wild game, including venison, elk, buffalo, bison. And the next best source is going to be lean free-range meats, including turkey breast, chicken breast, Cornish hens, lambs, and veal. Most of us don't do that. We eat chicken and tuna and beef. For example, a wild-caught fish has an average of 1 to 2 grams of creatine per 3-ounce servings, or 90 grams. But obviously farmed fish and everything else has a little bit low levels because they're not as well fed. So you can get creatine from your diet, okay? But you know, it is simpler to supplement with it. So another question I used to get, and one I used to ask myself: will creatine help me lose body fat? Because when I was losing weight, I wasn't really concerned getting big muscles at the time. Yes, I wanted to look better when I took my shirt off, but my main goal wasn't to put on lots of mass; it was to lose weight. So it gets kind of interesting because creatine in itself doesn't help you lose weight. What creatine does, as I explained, is helps you push out an extra couple of reps, which in turn down the line will increase your muscle mass because you're now putting more load on the muscle which you were before. More muscle speeds up your metabolism, burn an extra couple of calories at rest. But to solely lose body fat, it probably won't help you lose body fat simply because you need to be in a calorie deficit. And to be in a calorie deficit, that comes from training and nutrition. So if you're still eating over the amount of calories that you burn and you're taking creatine, yeah, you probably build a lot of muscle, but you're not going to lose body fat. So it will help you build muscle, absolutely, because it's forcing you to work a little bit hard in the gym. And a byproduct of that, providing your calories are in check, will help you lose body fat. Hope that clears it up a little bit for you. But on its own, it's not going to help you lose body fat. You need to be in a calorie deficit. Also, as well, if your training is subpar, so if you're not trained to failure and beyond failure, and let's just say you're doing a 12 rep max workout, and you go into 12 reps because your plan says 12, you could actually do 15 to 20 reps. You're taking creatine. It's not gonna help. It's not gonna push your muscles. You don't need that extra energy that the creatine is provided to do it. So you're not gonna get the stimulation you need. You need to be training hard. You need to be training to failure and beyond, and you need to be, your nutrition needs to be bang on. So yes, it'll help you build muscle, absolutely, but it will not help you lose body fat on its own. So I'm just gonna go through a couple of how are we over time? A couple of studies for you. I'm going to go through 3 studies. There's a study done, and I'm going to link all these down below so you can read it yourself. Okay, I'm going to read it just to make sure I don't get it wrong. It was a study done. So in 2003 meta-analysis of 100 studies found a large body of evidence that creatine monohydrate increases both power output and lean mass. Okay, so think of that, power output and lean mass, because of the adaptations we spoke about just now. Helps you push out a few extra reps and build muscle, but little to no evidence that it benefits aerobic and sub-maximal endurance activities. So if you're just jogging, or if you're just swimming and biking and you're not really pushing yourself, it's not really gonna help you improve in those activities. There was no significant differences were noted between genders or between trained and trained athletes, which means if you're a female, you could probably take creatine and be absolutely fine as a male. Basically, if you're pushing yourself hard, you're training hard in the gym, and lean mass and power are your goals, and creatine is going to be absolutely important for you. So again, if you're going to go study 2, we're going to look at the effects of frequencies of creatine supplementation on muscle size and strength in young adults. All right. So this study shows that the effects are noted in both men and women, but men more, women more responsive. And I would say, I don't know this 100%, that it would be due to higher testosterone levels in men, because men can build more muscle than women. And in those given a new workout regimen, there was no significant difference in the gains in power and strength over 6 weeks while working out twice a week relative to 3 times a week. So this just goes to show that you don't have to train too much. You can train too much, and you're not going to get the benefits from it. So you could train say you were training 3 times a week now, you could train twice and get the same benefits as training 3 times. But obviously, if you're trying to get a calorie deficit, anything, that's a good thing to do. But as I always talked about before, training can be like the sun. Okay, too much isn't always good for you. I know people in the gym that train 2 or 3 times a day sometimes to try and get extra benefits. And actually, once a day is perfectly fine, providing your nutrition is in point. Anyway, slightly off topic. Study number 3. Creatine monohydrate and resistance training increase bone mineral content and density in older men. So this is really cool. If you're like a lot of my clients that I work with are older, they're 40 plus, up towards about 65, 70, some of them. There's a study done where men aged 71 were studied. That's quite old. Dosages used was a loading period of 0.3 grams per kilogram of body weight for 5 days, and 0.07 grams afterwards as a maintenance. Okay. Improvements in lean mass and body mineral density over 12 weeks when combined with resistance training measured by DEXA. So DEXA is a body fat machine where it gets all the information out of your bone density and your muscle mass and your fat mass and all those sorts of things. And I love this study. It's so cool because it doesn't matter how old you are, you can actually increase strength and increase muscle, and creatine will actually help you, because as we know, as we get older, our muscle mass decreases, metabolism slows down. So if you can actually, you know, if you're injury free and you can work hard in the gym with a proper program, you can absolutely make really good gains. And what I love about this, the fact that it's helped with bone density is so cool, because as you get older, you know, we have lots of adults that slip, trip and fall, they break hips and legs and knees and ankles and everything. If you're training with weights and you're taking maybe supplementing with creatine, you're going to be much more durable, okay? You're going to have better balance, and if you fall, you're not going to hurt yourself as badly as you would if you didn't take any, which is really, really cool, right? Really, really passionate about that, and getting fit as you get older, really, really cool. So, quickly, can creatine help you lose weight? Already discussed it. Slightly different, okay? You need to be in a calorie deficit. You can absolutely build lean body mass, you can absolutely increase power, and if your calorie deficit isn't too much, you could probably build muscle and lose fat at the same time. And I've done it, and absolutely you can do it, but it takes a lot of time, and you know, it can be done. Study 4: the effect of in-season creatine supplementation on body composition and performance in rugby union football players. So if you're an athlete, and you can imagine, you know, a rugby player is strong and powerful, going back to what creatine is useful for, there were no changes in either group for aerobic, jogging or endurance. So when it supplemented creatine, it didn't improve their fitness, didn't improve their aerobic capacity, as we just spoke about. Creatine supplementation during a rugby football season is effective for increasing muscular endurance. Okay, so muscular endurance is going to be, you know, if you're squatting. So if you're an endurance squat would be 20, 30 squats or whatever it is, press-ups, it's going to help you because you're pushing yourself, you're pushing your muscles beyond failure. It's helping the muscles power through those extra few reps. But had no effect on body composition or aerobic endurance. Aerobic, which means like jogging and cardiovascular fitness. Because they probably weren't in a calorie deficit, they weren't obviously looking at that. I don't know too much about this study, but if you looked at it, maybe that was the case. So like I said, my opinion, if you like, is around the fact that all the evidence is pointing to increased muscle mass, increased power, all anaerobic activities, which means you're working at kind of high intensity, you're working past failure, you're causing your body to work very, very hard. Then creatine supplementation will have a good effect on those goals there. Is it safe? Well, apparently it is very safe. There's lots of studies on it. It's a very well studied supplement. It's been around for a long, long time, and it is safe. But there are some warnings around it that it shouldn't be used by individuals with pre-existing renal disease or those with potential risk of renal dysfunction. Things like diabetes, hypertension, high blood pressure, and those sorts of things. So, you know, go and see a doctor. Before you supplement anything, go and see a doctor, see if it's right for you. And, you know, you're going to be good to go. So, it does have some side effects. Apparently, I never really experienced them myself, like bloating and cramping. But I've never had any of them, and I can't say that. But people do report that. But I guess, you know, it's an individual case-by-case basis. If you feel like you're full bloated and full of wind and bad guts, then just don't take it. It's probably not worth it, to be honest, for the gains you're gonna get. So there's lots of articles of how to take creatine. You don't need to load. It's but people do, just to get the creatine in muscles quicker. And basically three kinds of people. Okay, you're gonna have the average exerciser, me and you. Okay, yeah, I'm a personal trainer, but you know, I'm not a physique competitor or a powerlifter. I train to keep in good health. Yes, I do have certain physique goals for the year, lose a bit of weight for the summer. So for me and you, if you're on the same goals as me, about 5 grams per day is gonna be perfect to get the results you want. If you want to put on lots and lots of muscle mass, or if you have lots and lots of muscle mass already, then maybe 2 5-gram doses per day or 10 grams a day. And you do get people who are non-responders. And if you're a non-responder, you need to take some creatine with some carbohydrate and some protein pre or post workout, just to help you along. All right. So it isn't really necessary to load. Like I say, your muscles are like a sponge. Once they're saturated. You either saturate it quickly or you saturate it slower. You can imagine put a sponge on the in the sink, and you can drip the water in. It's only going to saturate when it's had, say, 100 mils of water, or you can blast the tap, 100 mils of water, saturate it in 5 minutes. Similar sort of thing with creatine. You don't have to load, but if you want to load it quicker, you can. All good. Is it worth taking creatine? My opinion, one man's opinion, based on everything that I've seen, people I've worked with, my own personal experience, yeah, I reckon it is. I think that if you're prepared to push yourself in the gym, if you're getting older, and you're weight training, and you know you can handle it, and you can train a little bit harder than normal, I think it's absolutely perfect. If you can increase your lean body mass, if you can increase your bone density, if you can speed up your metabolism as you get older, I think it's absolutely perfect supplement. I don't take it currently myself because I just don't want to, and I don't need to right now. But if you're somebody that wants to take it, absolutely go for it. If your main goals are going to be add some muscle, if your goals are going to be have some power, if you play a sport, it's going to be really, really beneficial for you, and absolutely take some creatine. But yeah, that's it from me around creatine. I wrote a blog on it as well. That's what I was referring to as I was talking to you guys, and I'm going to link that blog down below, back on my website. And if you're reading the blog, this video is a compliment to the written blog as well. So, like I say, as always, start fresh. If you don't make a change today, how will tomorrow be any different?